Hey yo guys, what's happening? It's your boy Rain TJ back again with another episode of Just a Thought. And this week I wanted to ask you about have you ever thought of not necessarily your own kids, but the raising of kids on technology? Like, I don't know. For myself personally, I got my first phone around 11 and it was one of those Nokia phones where yeah, you could only put like Snake on it, and it had the like green light and the grooves and the keypads. Yeah, those were cool. But recently, like I've been thinking and looking at the state of things and just how people would just give a tech to their child instead of actually entertain them. Um, I want to start with maybe the pros and cons that I've been thinking of and looking at. And I don't know if you thought of any of these, but it's just a thought. So like recently recently being like within the past 3 years, I remember seeing a bunch of documentaries and stuff on YouTube about the kids station on YouTube being populated with hackers who are um putting these really scary things um on the children channel, describing it like kid stuff, drawing it like it's kid stuff. It looks like cartoons, but it's very deep. They're using color theory to hypnotize. The messages are very deep, but it would play these videos would play in a playlist with stuff that are safe for kids, um so like you give your child a tech and you just leave them, like you really don't know what they could end up watching, because there are people out there for whatever reason do things like that. They do things to corrupt the minds of kids. So there's that. And then I think about growing up, I had to know my 12 times table, and you were cool if you knew 13 and upwards. But I know now, like, there's probably so many people, kids, adults, so many people who are just so brought up in tech and so dependent on the calculator on their phones that you ask them six times six, they might probably take longer than they need to tell you that that's 36. You know what I mean? Or you ask them what's seven times seven, even though you just tell them what's six times six, or you ask them what's seven times six, and they'll take way longer to figure out that seven times six is 42. All you gotta do is add another six, and it's because it's because we all grew up on these texts, you know, and it's making us dumber in a sense because we're getting too dependent on it. It's like a lot of people, or far too many people, depend on the tech that we've made. And it's like I look at it like we've made this thing, we are its creators, and it's a tool to help us. That's literally it. It's nothing but a tool. Technology is a tool to help you. It's not something to depend on, you know? And I feel like just haphazardly just giving it to kids and just leaving them alone with it without any sort of super vision could go bad. Could go bad mentally for that child. That probably isn't the best approach. um Psychology and whatnot also speaks about the connection, the human bond that children need from an early age, especially with their mothers growing up, you know, stuff like that. You could look it up on your own. You could look up studies between babies who were allowed to sleep in the room with their parents, like parents who had the crib in the same room as them, versus parents who put their kids in separate rooms, like in cribs by themselves, and then the parents would have to go to that room. You can look it up. I spent some good time looking these things up, but this is just a thought. It's supposed to be quick, so yeah. Yeah. And then lastly, I feel like there are some pros to kids being highly adept to technology. They're thinking way faster. They are, it's literally just that. That sums it all up. They think a lot faster because when we didn't have the industrial era, we thought at at a certain pace. But then after the mechanical era, the engineering era, we started to think like machines. And then after the birth of the internet and the tech era, we're starting to think like tech. We're starting to think at that level of speed. Like, people need that level of entertainment. Their attention span is becoming extremely short. I think that's what it is. Their attention span, not necessarily how fast they think, because not everyone thinks that quickly. But a lot of people are losing attention, myself included. Like, whew, so hard to hold on to thoughts sometimes. Like, so hard. But I don't know. Thinking faster. Maybe that's a pro, maybe that's a con. I don't know. Because if you look at, like, I know it's a whole bunch of random thoughts, but if you look at the saber-tooth, it went extinct because it ran too fast. As the food source died down and it moved too fast, its prey would just have to turn a right corner real fast, real sharp, and it would take too long to stop. By the time it stops, the prey gets away. So yeah, it was one of the fastest predators out there, but its speed is what led to its demise, or so they say. So can our lack of attention or the speed at which we think now lead to our demise as well? I don't know. But I know our dependency on tech really will. Like, I think about this all the time. What if the internet, like the whole internet all around the globe, shut down right now? How would I reunite with my family? I think about that all the time. I know my brother and I would make it home to our parents. Like, that would, like, I don't think we need to discuss that. It's kind of understood that's the goal. But how would I get there? The wind blow? Do I know where north is? Can people still know? Do people still know what that is? You wet your finger, you put it up in the air, you feel this side colder. That means the wind is blowing from this direction. Wind blows east to west in the daytime. If the wind is blowing from this direction, that direction is north. How many people still know that because of their dependency on tech? I don't know. So I think about those things all the time. I don't know. It's just a thought. I thought I'd share this one with you today. So yeah, let me know what you think about it. Comment down below and everything. And yeah, have a good day. And like, put your phone down for like 30 minutes. If you can. Have a good day, everybody.